Welcome back to my shop. I'm really excited to show you a new tool today that I think is one of the greatest bicycle inventions to come along in a long time. Seriously. What it is a new derailleur hanger alignment tool that comes to us from Wolf Tooth Components. Super innovative little company. The tool is so small it can pack and you can bring it along. It's all put together or collapses into individual pieces that nest inside the tool. This is the kit that'll work with through axles and quick release axles. And it's a beautiful little tool that makes derailleur hanger alignment much easier than it's ever been before. I'm going to show you how it works, but first I want to show you how we've been doing it as long as I can remember, which goes back to the early 70s. So I'm going to go over here to my circa 1968 Campanola toolkit, and I'm going to take out the Campy R tool, which is the way we've been working on these derailleur hangers forever. Another tool, a more modern tool, even though it looks a little different, it works exactly the same way as the tool from 1968. So I'll show you the tool from 1968, the Campy R tool. What this does, this tool, is it fixes the derailleur hanger, this little tab, this little piece of metal hanging off on the bottom of your frame. Super common accident, you might not even know it happened, is to have the bike fall over or to crash or even have somebody smack into you. It hits the derailleur, which is protruding, and that bends the hanger. And once the hanger is bent, it's almost always bent in, and it's possible and likely that you might shift into the spokes if you don't know it's bent. So to fix it, the way we've always done it is you carefully thread in your derailleur hanger tool. You have to be careful because if you cross thread it, you could strip it. These pieces on most carbon aluminum bikes these days are made of aluminum. This tool has steel threads, so you could easily strip the hanger. Then the way you use this tool to check if the hanger is bent is you compare the distance between the rod on the tool, or the arm of the tool, to the rim here and here, and you tweak the hanger by pushing on the arm or pulling on the arm until you have the same distance here and the same distance here. Then you repeat the process here and here. And you make an adjustment in this direction, just like you made the adjustment over here. And then you're done. Now here's a much more modern tool, probably 5 years old. This is an EVT tool from Efficient Fellow Tools, called the Thru Axle. Beautifully machined tool. Here again, we want to be really careful. This one is a little more deluxe. It extends, and it has a little arm. You can bring it in as sort of a feeler gauge on the rim. See if it touches the rim, then bring it up. See if it touches the rim up there, and then you repeat here and here. Now, the tricky thing about using these tools is, as you change the position of the tool, because the hole in the hanger is below the wheel, the center of the wheel, you constantly have to change your reference point. That makes it difficult to get a good reading, and there's usually a lot of back and forth using these tools before you're happy with the alignment. So they're not the easiest tool in the world to use, and I don't believe they give you anywhere near perfect adjustments. So I'm going to show you the difference and what Wolf Tooth has come up with, because I think it's extraordinary. For the quick release kit, for quick release axle bikes, you only need these two pieces. They don't weigh much. They're made of aluminum. So this piece, which is the handle, threads into the derailleur hanger. And then this piece takes the place of the end cap on the quick release. You leave the wheel on the bike. You want the stability that the wheel being in the dropouts gives the frame, supports the frame. And this piece threads onto the quick release. Make sure it's in the dropout all the way. Then you clamp your quick release. And now you have, two parallel rods that you can sight the gap between the rods. So if you look from this angle, you can immediately see if one is off from the other one. If the hanger is bent and pushed in, you would see a bigger gap on this end than on this end. And to check your work, you come around and look from all angles, and you just simply hold on to this big handle here, and you can make super fine adjustments to make sure that this is perfectly aligned with this. In my opinion, having used it a few times now, this is far easier than using the old tools that we've had all these years. I think it's a revolutionary design. I don't have a road bike with through axles to show you, but I do have a mountain bike with a through axle. So I'm going to take this off, put on the mountain bike, and show you how the through axle one works, because that's a little more complicated, because there's a lot of different, there's 3 different through axle threadings, and it's a slightly different setup. So let me take this bike down. And I'll bring the mountain bike in. And so this is a through axle bike. So again, you're going to leave the wheel on. And you're going to use this part of the tool for your through rod. They give you 3 choices to match your through axle. They fit together end to end. Ingenious design, so that you can tuck them away inside the tool. And what you're going to do to figure out which one is right for your bike is you just nest or fit the axle together, the threads together, and see if they mesh. And if they do, then you take that piece that's right for your through axle bike, you thread that on, and they've built in a little tool in the end for tightening it. And then you take this, which is basically becomes a through axle for your bike. We got to come around here and tighten up the repair stand. So you thread the through axle in, until it stops, and then they give you a nut for the other side that you lock it in with. Once this is in place, the wheel's in place, it's clamped tight between the dropouts to fix everything. And now this becomes your knob for comparing. The rest of the process is exactly the same. You remove the rear derailleur, you use the same handle that threads in, thread it into the hanger, and you can compare how parallel they are till you get it, and move it, the hanger around until you have it perfect, and then you're good to go. That's how it works. I'm really impressed with this setup. I think Wolftooth has come up with an ingenious new way to align derailleur hangers, and since it's such a common problem on bikes, I think they have a real winner here, and I'm looking forward to having this even in my bag when I'm off on a long ride, and I don't want to risk not getting home because of a crash that wrecks the hanger alignment. Thanks for watching. This video was produced by me, Jim Langley, the technical editor at roadbikerider.com.